Ooh. Run away. It is Halloween time. Is it Halloween today or tomorrow?
Yes.
That goes really well with the red sign. It's today?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think this is about, James?
I don't know. I just thought it was like, you know, trying something different today. On the last day of the online season, it is Halloween time. I think last time you were in a Sharks outfit, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Maybe it's too biased since there are Sharks in the final now.
That's true.
Yeah, but here we are. Happy Halloween, people. We've had some Halloween pumpkins carved by some of our staff in the office here. I love the avant-garde sign especially. I think that one is it's just fine. It's very aesthetically pleasing. I'm about to sneeze. God damn it, the choke just started. Jeez Louise. 428 days since we could draw on the map. Soon it will be 429. Soon, but not now. But soon we have got a lot of Counter-Strike to come for you today. Let's have a look at the bracket. We will start in Europe and then we'll go over to North America. It is finals day, day number 4, week number 5, ECS season number 8. Virtus.pro and Fnatic are in the finals. VP having 2-0'd Mousesports and 2-1ing FACEIT, which was a huge upset. A lot of people were upset about that one. And they have themselves a chance to make it to the finals. Virtus.pro on the up versus Fnatic, who've charged straight back to what their brand deserves at this point, I would say. 2-0'ing Big, 2-0'ing Tricked, and making it to the final versus the Poles today. This will be our European final to find out who takes the last European slot on the way to Arlington, Texas, and that's where the finals are going to be at the end of November. ECS.FACEIT.com is where you can get some tickets. If you can make it, then make it. Would love to see you down there. Virtus.pro and Fnatic, ladies and gentlemen, should be a very good one. I think stylistically this will be good. We had a good stylistic fight in North America yesterday with ATK versus MIBR until MIBR cracked the code in that series. But I think this one is stylistically good as well. I think like Virtus.pro are still underestimated to where they are versus where people think they are because of the long and recent failures of the team with the different rosters and so on. I think it's going to be a good match. What do you guys think?
Chaos. It's going to be absolute chaos.
Okay.
JW, Snatchy, Snacks, just random stuff happening everywhere with Alps. I like that. I like the chaos.
What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I think the matchup will come into some chaos, but I think it's going to be Fnatic's kind of chaos. You know, I think they're going to be more resilient in some of these weird mid-round situations. I think that's just part of their identity. So I'm expecting a pretty fun game, but yeah, I think VP is going to be a struggle. I think it's going to be a struggle.
Do you think it's going to be a struggle?
Yeah.
I think not. I think that it's going to be competitive, and I think VP are going to surprise. And I think we're going to get a really good game, but where will the games be played? That is the question, and this is the veto to find out. He's got that insta-veto of Vertigo, which is, I think, good to see at this point. It is the old Vertigo for now. Teams will soon be moving to the new one, but for now, most are practicing the old one. Overpass, Mirage, and Inferno will be the series. Mirage, of course, with Virtus.pro, that's always going to be their pick, having a veto Dust 2, as you can see there. So Overpass and Mirage. Last time Overpass, I think, is one of the best maps in the pool at the moment, so it's a great way to start off the proceedings. And I think it's a nice map to see where both these teams are at the moment. It's a map that requires some pace. You're not going to be just running around being ridiculous all the time. There won't be any event plays in this game that we saw from JW with the 4K yesterday, so we're going to see some kind of Fnatic almost forced to play a more normal game, I feel like, and can't really necessarily abuse the kind of power of Fnatic with this lineup on a map like Overpass. So I think it's good to see where they are in general, and the same for Virtus.pro.
Big old VP. I think the map pool maybe favors a little bit towards Fnatic. It's surprising that VP banned DE Train, which I thought they loved playing that map, but maybe yesterday or whatever, they didn't. Maybe they don't feel comfortable on it. I don't know.
It's a weird one because I think it's one of their better maps, and I guess it is I think hard to do the veto against Fnatic. I think you're going to find yourself with a Fnatic favored series of maps regardless, and I think like Overpass gives a team like Fnatic a lot of opportunities. They're a team that likes to get a bit aggressive, but they can also slow play it. They can change that pace, and so the CT side of Overpass, they get all kinds of options to cause problems, and I think it's going to be really fun to see Flusher lurking around and just to see all the lurk plays and the pushes. That's, I think, one of the reasons why Overpass is so fun. So I think we should see a lot of that, and that'll be a great way to start it. We've got the Mirage too. That's also quintessentially Fnatic map, but also a VP map. Inferno, also a map that both teams are really capable of. I think this is a great 3 maps. This should be close.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it's going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to get into it. I think it's going to be cool. We saw some nice highlights from Fnatic yesterday. We saw some highlights on Reddit. I woke up today and saw that I have a highlight on Reddit.
Nice.
From yesterday. Okay, let me just explain. Let me just explain what happened. Okay, so I was in a 1v1 on Vertigo on CT side, and I fragged the guy. I was left to defuse the bomb, but we didn't have much money, and there was an AWP on the A site. So I thought to myself, I have a kit. Why don't I go to A and get the AWP, and then go back to B? I kind of underestimated how long a journey it is going through all the corners. There's no door to go through, so I didn't get back to the bomb in time to defuse it. And I think everyone's already a little triggered at that point. But all the losing we had been doing really didn't help morale of the team. So that's my highlight. That's on Reddit. What I've noticed as well is that, like, if I do anything awesome in the game, those will never get submitted. It's like it's only the bad stuff that gets submitted, but that's okay, man. I can take it.
People want to tear you down. They want to bring you down.
Yeah, and it's fine.
Well, you have a brand.
All it means is underestimating me when we're on the servers. So if I'm not tired, then I'll play a lot better, and then we'll see what's up.
You have a brand. People have an expectation, and people need the expectation to be delivered.
It's the satiation. My brand is apparently failure on the servers, and that's fine. That's no problem, man. The people who tune into the stream know. I think in the last week I streamed about 24 hours. So one day of the last 7 days was just like equated to all streaming.
That's good amount of streaming.
Yeah, the information's there if you want it. Although I think sometimes I get to a point where I'm playing so much that I just get like a mental fatigue. I need to balance it out with other things. But I've had football injuries.
You have to take 10 minutes. Stand up, stretch out, take some deep breaths, all that good stuff.
I busted last season. I busted my knee really bad, and I haven't been able to go home and see a physio to fix it. So I'm just playing CS.
That's physios here too, James. You know.
Yeah, but I'm not paying for American physios.
Why not?
So because it costs money. I don't want to pay money.
Well, you should pay for it in the UK too.
Well, I could go to the NHS and do it.
But you'll get worse, and it'll be
It'll be good enough.
Slower, James.
They fixed my shoulder. It'll be faster for me than it is for you. I got the express service there.
Okay.
I got to give to the Gab service. I'll get it fixed when I go back to London. Anyway, we need to make our predictions for this match. Virtus.pro versus Fnatic. I am going to go with Fnatic because even though I think it will be good competitive, I think that Virtus.pro are not as strong as Fnatic at the moment. Fnatic are playing kind of lights out right now, and the synergy is just great to see, and it's romantic, it's infectious, and therefore I will choose Fnatic.
Polska. I'm going with the Poles. I'm part Polish myself. I think they have a lot of potential. I do think Fnatic is the better team a little bit, but we've seen a lot of skill come from the VP. I like their lineup. I like how they play. As long as they fix, some of their big mistakes, I think they can compete and even beat Fnatic.
I'm going for Fnatic. I think it's a great map pool for them. I think that we will see a lot of fun, aggressive plays and interesting mid rounds. And I think that's where the game's going to be won. To be won in those 3v3s, 4v4s, 3v4s, those situations, and that they are better, stronger there.
Sugi, what are you going to go for?
I'm going to go with Fnatic. I think both of these teams are like at their peak right now, but Fnatic just have a higher peak.
I like the Virtus.pro picks we're seeing from Eric. We should go to that Solidarity restaurant.
Okay.
Which is not far from our studio.
Let's go after the show.
It's really weird because Jason R has Solidarity. It has emotes in his chat, right? Which is exactly the same as the Solidarity restaurant, which is like 3 blocks away.
Is he related to
from our studio? I don't know.
Maybe we should ask him.
I took a picture of the restaurant and like 50 people tweeted that at him. But there's no reply,
response?
So I don't know.
Come on, Jason R.
But he's Polish as well, right?
Maybe, probably. I'm not sure.
I thought your name was Jewish.
That's what everyone thinks.
It looks
'cause
Jewish.
of the bird. But that's the Swedish part. That's the Swedish in it, the bird.
Swedish.
Yeah, so it's either Swedish or
so
Jewish.
you're Polish, Swedish, you're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
More than that or just that?
I'm Polish and Swedish pretty much, that's it.
Have you done Have you confirmed it?
I haven't confirmed, but I've always wanted to do that. Maybe I'll do that and see what else is lurking in my body.
Sudan's mostly Indian and what?
Mostly. 22%. It's not mostly. That's
excuse me. 22%.
I'm not a statistician, but...
How's it not 25%? Why is somebody less in the quarter? What's happened? What went wrong?
You should check yours, James.
Oh, I'm half Cameroonian and half English.
That's what you think.
There's something else lurking around you just don't know?
So Indian and what?
French and other stuff, but mostly European.
Yeah,
Nice.
but what? But
And
so
there's
what,
people
half
that
French?
found out that their dad's not their dads on 23andMe. You never know, James.
You might find out that.
Why are you trying to tell me that you're trying to suggest that my mother
I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say
is some kind
maybe
of
there's 10% from Japan.
like a
who
lady
knows?
of the night or something? Is that what you're saying? My mum's a prostitute? Is that where you're going with this?
You put me on the spot, James.
You
Definitely
put you
definitely
on the
not.
spot. Okay.
Definitely not going to suggest that.
Good
no.
to know.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. It's
Well,
hard work
should I
at
be
DDK
suggesting
sometimes.
that, James? I don't know.
It's hard
So-
work.
Anyway, maybe there's like 5% from Japan or something. You never know.
You could be a little Japanese. I can see that in you.
You know, Justin Wong from the fighting game community, before he met me, when I can't repeat what he said when he met me, but he said I thought this guy was Chinese, which is I have like slightly Asian eyes, but I don't think there's any Asian in me. Dan.
Ah, but you don't know.
You never know.
There is that doubt.
I suppose I don't know.
10
Yeah.
generations
But my mum's
in.
pretty black, and she doesn't look Asian at all. And my dad's pretty white, and is definitely English. So I don't think either of them are
You should
partly
get a test,
Japanese.
James.
Should get a test to see if I'm partly Japanese.
James is a miracle baby.
That's true.
Is it true?
Yeah.
Explain to the people.
My mother had twisted fallopian tubes.
Wow.
He shouldn't
Yeah.
have been a thing.
I'm glad that you were
No,
born,
I
James.
just-
He
No.
shouldn't have.
I'm glad
but
that
he
you're
is.
here
I
on this
made
earth.
it. I made it. I'm a miracle baby. Anyway, maybe let's see what the user predictions are for this game. There are 8 people on the server, so we're just buying some time before the match starts. 71% for Fnatic. The Bears is definitely in that 29%. I think this is reasonable in terms of general expectations. I think that most people will be seeing more Fnatic games than they will Virtus.pro games at the moment, just across the board. So they'll probably have more. They'll be more informed on Fnatic and less informed on Virtus.pro. And I really feel like in the last month or two, VP have really have improved. I mean, we've seen over multiple seasons that they've really tried to get like to a stable place on Mirage, and then kind of build from that. And I think they've done that. And they do look dangerous at the moment. We have seen some wild plays. They can be over-aggressive and kind of give up advantages on occasion, but they're on the rise, man. They're on the rise. I don't know how far, like, what the ceiling is for the team, but they're definitely improving and taking steps forward. So they could surprise people today. Now we need to look at the numbers from Pinnacle and see what.
Ooh.
God damn!
That's a
I
good-
wasn't
that's still
expecting
big.
that. Okay, so Pinnacle have got no faith whatsoever
None.
in Virtus.pro. And Fnatic have been, I mean, this is probably heavily weighted to Fnatic's recent results, as opposed to Virtus.pro's playing in finals and just going much deeper. But I mean, they're getting more opportunities, but also getting more results versus upper echelons of opponents. And you know, you go with what you know versus what you don't know for Virtus.pro. Virtus.pro is a question we'll see some answers to during this series, but Fnatic, we kind of know where they're at the moment, and it's a pretty good place.
I agree.
Marvelous.
Very wise, James.
Well, one thing that was weird about Virtus.pro is that their Mirage yesterday was pretty rubbish. They couldn't get going on the CT side, if I recall correctly. They struggled pretty massively. It was pretty weird. Statue was having a hard time to get going as well. But, you know, hopefully Fnatic bring out their A game. You know, it's definitely a thing where you have if you have top level teams against different opponents in matches like this, they might show a different strength. You know, some teams play to the strength of their opponents, so you may see a dip in quality, or you know, even them raise their ability depending on who they're playing. I think, for example, yesterday we saw both ATK and MIBR having to fight really hard. ATK especially surprised me with how well they played in the first map at least. But here we go, VP and Fnatic on Overpass. This should be a really interesting and fun game of Counter-Strike. Fnatic on the CT side. That's where I wanted to see them to start, because I want to see that aggression. I want to see those pushes, monster sewers, fountain, connector, everything.
No, I think there'll be heavier punishes on Overpass if they play the way that they sometimes did on Nuke, for example.
We should do this CT setup.
I like it.
Stacking the B-bomb site.
Well, the swing is here from Virtus.pro. No warning. We've got the counter flashes from Heaven, and Fnatic will start to peek. Mihu and Snacks remain. There's a 1 versus 1, but not going the way of Virtus.pro. No chance of planting the bomb. No Kriegs in the second round.
It's a great CT setup by Fnatic and flush it with the 2 flashbangs. You know, that's something I've been seeing a little bit more on the CT side. Instead of getting like a kit and smoke, we see a kit and 2 flashbangs. And I kind of like that a little bit better. Just gives a little more utility for your teammates. You saw a stack right there. There's like 4 Fnatic and B.
Yeah.
Flush just primed with the flash, just waiting.
It's definitely a change in attitude. I feel like the smoke diffuser kit's more of a worst case scenario, whereas the flashbangs would indicate, you know, let's take control of the situation as opposed to like proactive rather than
I like
react.
that. I like that.
Siggy's convinced me successfully to stop using grenades.
I think we can all be happy with that.
You have great aim,
Dan,
Dan.
Lurk, Smoke, Capadia.
Don't limit yourself.
Dan,
I've been
my
up for
mate is
20
Car on
hours.
Dust too. Let me smoke short pillar.
You can't kill people if you have your nade out most of the
true.
time.
So I'm going to subscribe to Siggy's philosophy of Counter-Strike. We'll see how it goes.
Coached by Sliggy.
If I get 40 kills every game, you guys can't complain.
That's true.
Right.
There's no complaint if you get 40 every day.
Yeah.
Well, Virtus.pro have got snacks on a Desert Eagle, and the rest of the team on Glocks. Sliggy is the in-game director, if you're not familiar. He put in work yesterday.
We had a good game of Inferno.
That was about the only good game we had yesterday. Almost lost every other game. We lost 5 and won 2. Well, Fnatic are ready to respond.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed pop flash. Well, I don't see many people eating it, but Roland will get most of the kills anyway. Smoke is up once again. JW trying to retrieve the weapon, I think. There is a gap in that smoke, though, which must be respected. Mihu trying to pick it up as well. There's a battle for it. Mihu's grabbed it. JW will chase. Can he punish the reload? He can't. Mihu doesn't have any Kevlar. He's running towards long with the rifle. Don't know if JW's heard this, but yeah, JW is chasing.
Uh-oh, I'd throw that away and die.
Well, he's trying to throw away some more money for Fnatic if he can. But he's
Die.
sandwiched now. Oh no!
No!
Oh
Well played,
no!
Fnatic.
That was a massive bait there.
To be
Running
fair,
around in circles.
he has money still.
Wait, he didn't die after the time?
He did.
He did.
But he has...
He has-
Oh,
like,
at 28.
Well, he has some money,
He
yes.
has some money.
But he has a
isn't
lot
that
less money
50
than the rest of
bucks
his
or
team who are
something?
going for a full buy.
If I was in Michu's situation, I'd toss the gun over the wall and just try to die. Because, I mean, you're not going to win the round. You're just going to hand back that M4. And right back to the CTT. But that's just me.
Well, Mihu will be on a Deagle. I didn't actually realize the time for a second there. Yeah, that was well played by Fnatic. So Mihu will be on a Deagle. I think he was helmetless for a while, but picked one up late. Careful. So no Krieg update has come yet. Today's Thursday though, so maybe. You never know. I'm sure it'll come at some point, but when?
Right before the move.
Surely there's plenty of data to be had.
It's ages until the major as well. Ages. They have to make some kind of a change. Right?
Yes, they do. Everyone's complaining about it.
Yeah, it seems pretty unanimous. There is a consensus, an expert consensus. And in the casual Counter-Strike, people aren't really using it very much, but we'll come back to that in a moment. We'll see the setup here, ready to pull the trigger on the defense here. Fnatic looking okay. It's not the best, but and Crims is in the position to turn it all around. He is looking to move towards barrels. Seems like PHR understands that it is a possibility with that smoke in place. He's just staring.
It just looks
up.
so weird.
I know, it does look weird, doesn't it? He's expecting Crims to jump over the barrels, or on top of the barrels, perhaps, to stand over the smoke, but Crims plays it smart and steady. And Brolan is waiting as well for Crims to make contact. A little bit more damage on PHR. Nicely done by Crims. Did he run out of bullets? I guess he did, but the HP is very low. Oh, this is so awkward. Oh, you almost saw him doing it. He had a chance.
It was actually kind of cool by VP. They got the kills in the B, and then they just waited. They held. They wait for the smoke. Because if they would have pushed those smokes, Crims would have capitalized. Got those kills. And probably been around for Fnatic. So very patient play by VP. You notice that they had about 8 seconds left. In our pugs, we usually dine within the first 10 seconds. So I'm taking note here, guys.
Flashbangs for position around Fountain. For a fast push towards bathrooms, looks like the anti-eco will just be them going straight towards the bomb site through bathrooms, perhaps. Don't know that there's any interest in clearing connector. You can just need someone to hold it as the team pushes forwards. It looks like they'll move everybody down connector. In fact, they'll go to split B. Pop flash from Stacks.
Sorry, weird sound on our ears. Virtus.pro moving into the B bomb site. Smoke is up on the balcony. And Fnatic are out of position now. Do they run to their doom on the B bomb site? Just hold on to... Okay, Snatchy.
Get flushed.
Keeps the angle on the stairs. Not surprised the sniper would spray that. That's a sniper position. Up the stairs. Fnatic may try to play some exits. The remaining players don't have much to lose.
Splat.
There we go, 2-2. Success is brief for Fnatic on Overpass. But the buy can be had again. However, it will be lacking. Won't have all the money in the world for grenades, especially those $600 incendiaries.
Now we saw yesterday with Fnatic, JW with the AWP really going off on a lot of rounds, and right now VP kind of put Fnatic in a weird spot where obviously there's no op in JW's hands, so the firepower of Fnatic is just a little bit less than normal. I think this map is very important for AWP. I think it's very essential, especially on CT side. You need to have an AWP against most teams.
But the thing about Fnatic too is that they don't ever try to rush to an AWP. It seems it seems like a rare case that they do that. They're fine. They seem very comfortable playing with rifles and SMGs. I don't blame them. The MP9 is still so sick. I think after the Krieg, I think the MP9 will eventually get nerfed like the UMP did, at least to fall off damage or range. So it's still just as good in the close quarters, but you can't pop people.
It sucks at range.
If you tap,
But you got a
burst fire,
so
it's not that bad. It's not that bad burst fire.
But the recoil refreshes extremely quickly, so you can it's like, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, but it's an SMG. It has SMG damage fall off versus rifle. Stop calling for an MP9 nerf. Leave it alone, Dad.
Dude, there's no other SMG at that price that's good.
And that's okay. That doesn't need to be.
Battle for Connect will be lost by Fnatic. They're in a nasty spot, and this may encourage them to get the AWP out on that next buy, really prioritize it, which means that they, on their half buy in the following round, should they lose this one, which looks like they will, they'll need to make sure that they have enough money in the pool for that. They are just getting slaughtered, one by one.
VP looking really good on their gun rounds on T side. Fnatic kind of, maybe they need a little warm up. Maybe they're starting a little slower than usual. You saw on connectors, just like a kind of a confusion and got caught out. Brawl and getting killed.
Well, it's a rough start to the CT side for Fnatic, as we can see. Yeah, I think with Virtus.pro, we just don't know. It's a good start for them for sure, but it's hard to nail exactly where they are at the moment, at least for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd want to watch them for another month.
And the complexion of this game could change really very quickly. Again, Fnatic have a bunch of different ways that they can play their CT side effectively. But this was rough. Fnatic couldn't really take the initiative together, and then instead that was the story for VP. They were taking the initiative, getting really good duels. So the half buy is in around the M4 that was saved. Flush is going aggressive. Showing presence, falling back.
Well, he tried to present the M4 in a completely different location. Firing a few bullets may slow the Virtus.pro side down around the toilets, and indeed, they are looking to avoid that M484, but they will walk straight back into it because he has reappeared, teleporting from one place to another. A simple play from Flusher. Here I am. They know there's one M4 on the team. Let's avoid the M4. Oh, the M4's here instead. However, the M4 is now in a position where it's unlikely to be retrieved by Fnatic. So the worst may be over for Virtus.pro, as they are remaining. The remaining players for Fnatic have just got pistols. No utility at this point. Krim spent a few extra. Got some Kevlar. Snatchy will swing. He's got support. Again, that weapon can be protected unless Mihu goes down. Now Krims, he's got a chance to do some damage. All of a sudden, just like that, it's a 1 versus 1. Krims looking for number 4. So close to a clean headshot. That escalated real quick. Some warnings for Virtus.pro as Fnatic come onto a bye.
Even though that came down to 1-1, there's actually a good call by VP because Flusha, he was tossing smokes and nades at the start to kind of slow down VP so he could reposition. But VP was having none of it. They showed a little no respect and took that long and really quickly. I think maybe a little quicker than Flusha would have wanted. So.
Well, they will once again try to make their way towards Fountain Virtus.pro, and they've got that smoke to worry about. Again, just slows you down. You've got to check everything. You can't take any position for granted. The CTs could really be anywhere. And, you know, it's the idea of sort of playing aggressively to be able to play passively. Because to play passively effectively, you need to have your opposing team to have limited times. They can't check everything. So it's not ideal. You know, they'll have to take some risks. And Fnatic with a bathrooms set up, looking to do some damage. Snatchy will actually snake his way through towards the long side of bathrooms, and he's been undetected so far. This setup is, it's definitely something that could be strong, but if it goes down without any damage, the round is immediately over. There is assistance though. We've got Flusher now on the A side, so that's going to help a little bit.
Beautiful. Nice hold from Brolan. Gets a second kill as well, and that's a shutdown. Everything is turned off. Essentially, Flusher waiting for a creep through the smoke. Molotov is timed very well. He isolates the 2 Ts. Snatchy has no help from Mihu. Falling back, and this has been dismantled. There's, I think I put a video of Team Liquid dismantling that setup from Avangar. I think it was that way around, maybe the other way around, but I think it was that way around.
Yeah, that's...
The Ts had some flashes, they had a Molotov in to isolate the sniper from the rifler. Of course, you don't quite know, but they had I suppose it was a habit. The thing is with Fnatic, you never quite know what they're doing, for sure. This might be harder to deal with that. There's so many nice angles for CTs to hold, but they have that slight warning with the shadows poking out for the Ts as well. Pretty much every entry into toilets has that opportunity for the CTs by default.
Even along as well, there's the shadow advantage that can be found for the CTs. It's quite an interesting mechanic in terms of how you build maps, whether you can make it better than CTs. And Brolan will make things a lot better for Fnatic at the beginning of this round with a quick pick off the Krieg, and he falls all the way back. That's actually pretty awesome because the T's smoke the molly because they want to get through quickly. You kind of have that cover to get that initial first frag, but speaking of which, JW felt like he was more covered behind that smoke than he really was, and that's going to even the numbers quite quickly. And Virtus.pro are speeding up. They're really speeding up. They have a lot of intention towards this A site right now.
No presence towards B anymore for VP. Snacks is looking for a flank. That was quite some airtime from Fnatic. Shadow advantage works out for PHR on this occasion. Molly into bank. Trying to take as deep map control as he can. Nice. Avoiding the stairs, as you can see. And he makes his way into the bank stairs. Krims has a focus, but PHR has done the job. With some assistance from his teammates. His positioning as he went towards the APC there was pretty good. Again, the bank stairs are something that you must be aware of, but he looked at them at the last possible minute, so not to run into a crossfire. There's the pick on long.
Liking what VP are doing on their T side, excuse me, is that they're buying AKs over the SGs because they don't want the CTs to get the SGs. So I've been liking that a little bit. You see, there's 3 AKs, so you know, the OPSG.
Nice.
Yeah, just the one, especially on this map too, for the CTs, it's so powerful. It's like these hedge, like that kill that Brolan got, for example. Obviously, they were a bit further forward, but there's that headshot angle that if you peek with an AK, it's kind of difficult to kind of work out where to put your crosshair. But with a Krieg, it's super easy to just pop ahead as they're emerging from the stairs towards Fountain. So now we have Fnatic on another half buy. Fnatic are probably one of the most exciting teams to watch when they have buys like this because, again, they just are able to find interesting spots, and the skill that they have and the game sense that they have and the team play that they have allows them to work those spots in interesting ways. And it's always a lot of fun when they're feeling it. They have players not in the correct bomb site right now, so we'll see if they can make a rotation. They're beginning a rotation. It should get there in time. VP are looking for a response. They're waiting. But all that's doing is allowing Fnatic to position on B now.
Virtus.pro maybe suggesting a fake. Maybe trying to get any utility Fnatic may have had out of the way. They are running into a stack though, but it's working out okay for them. Flush is taken out in that short position. So painful for the T to deal with sometimes when they push into B. And the risk is over, it seems. Brolan will walk to his doom. PHR is ready for him, and 6-3. It's pretty good for Virtus.pro. Outside of the pistol, Fnatic haven't had those consecutive rounds. They've barely had any rounds. They've had 1 round from 7.
One thing there as well. Imagine if Golden Hits have 1 Deke. Then you have, I forget who it was with the CZ, maybe Flusher, sitting by the wood with the CZ. So next guy probably swinging with the guy who died to Golden, probably looking towards Golden. Maybe Flusher gets the kill. Like, could have been very different in that sense. So I like that setup. It's a cool setup, very simple, very basic. See it on gun rounds too. Look, VP are being forced to throw that smoke at the beginning of every round.
Yeah, they're going to have to, because if they don't, then Fnatic will know that no one's fast party or a fast in that area, and so even if you don't take it, you have to toss that smoke there, because otherwise Fnatic gets too much map control.
Yeah.
You can't let that happen on this map.
I wonder if we'll get a gentleman's agreement not to use the Krieg at some point. Saw a quote from Dupree on HLTV saying he thinks it's the most overpowered gun ever in CS.
I think we said that yesterday as
yeah,
well.
James
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I mean, in all seriousness, I think in terms of weapons that have been abused in professional Counter-Strike, yes. I think on paper, the revolver was literally a broken weapon, especially because they nerfed all the other pistols as well. But anyway, Virtus.pro are charging into the B bomb site. You can see the CTs defend behind the water. They've got the counter smokes up, but Veggie made his way through. He has the information now as to where Flusher is. Snack's almost getting caught with his gun, with his grenade in his hand, sorry. He'll get caught anyway, and the tracers will be punished. It is really tough when there's a charge into the B bomb site. The CTs, the current meta is to put like a smoke up between barrels and pillar, fight from the water. If you go too deep, you get isolated versus the numbers, but you can see Veggie swinging in here. Could have ended in disaster though. JW had a great angle on the balcony, didn't overcommit, and Fnatic have finally clawed something back. Might have some confidence after that round.
What if they haven't smoked this? That's why he was able to do that. It's unfortunate for VP. JW probably wouldn't have had 2 kills from that spot, obviously, if that smoke landed. It's a hard smoke to toss, though, from outside Monster.
You can see Golden playing anti-flash outside Monster, with Crims focusing on the Monster tunnel as well. Again, a shadow advantage. They walk in. Brolan could have got 2. But Mihi will be able to trade. Not an easy trade, all things considered. Now there's no information for Fnatic. JW's playing from the site. That's causing a rotation from Flusher. Ah, the lurk smoke. Yes. I love this smoke because you can have nothing behind it, you can have everything behind it. And look how it's forced JW to dump all his utility. And look at the time on the clock. I throw that smoke from short B, but that's another way to throw it, because you can have one person sneak up behind it, you can have 3 people sneak up behind it, and the CTs can't tell. They can jump peek on dice and not see anything. You can see the creep there. See what JW is forced to do just to hold down the position.
Well, it's looking pretty good for Fnatic in terms of timing. VP forced to make a move towards B. They've been spotted. Crystal trying to buy as much time as he can. He makes the right peek towards the left, and he has absolutely nailed it. Nice defense coming in from Fnatic in this round, and VP's pace has suddenly been slowed to a halt in terms of what they're able to do with the map control that they get.
Yeah, I think VP has to change it up just a little bit. They're doing a lot of these contact moves into choke points, but Fnatic's having these, just holding down these angles and getting 1 or 2 easy kills before VP can take a bomb site. So my suggestion would be more pop flashing in towards the bathrooms, just to maybe bait more nades, maybe push back the CTs a little bit without dying.
Ooh. Some nasty grenades into the short B position. Fnatic trying to hold down the rushes once again. We've got Flusher spraying through the doorway. Defensive smokes are up once more. You can see Golden changing his position. Sometimes the CTs will defend from the water, sometimes from the barrels. Flusher thought it was clear after his frags, but no, PHR still lurking. Golden will not be compromised. Mihu's taken out. They have spotted a bomb by Monster, and PHR's in a very weird duel. There's a lot of information to the other 2 players. Roland makes his way forward. There's a bell ring. Very unusual turn of events. The Krieg may have turned things around, but AWP will be quicker to the punch. Fnatic are doing a reasonable job of holding these rushes on the B bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about Fnatic too, is that I think they like to often open up in a consistent passive way and just kind of then measure out, okay, how's the other team playing? What do we need to do? And if it just works when you're playing passively, you're opening yourself up to less risk, generally speaking. So if you can get away with it, then it's really powerful to play that way at the beginning of a half. And now they've got some money, they're going to understand what the next fight looks like for VP. We might see them mix it up. It's going to be a really good time to do it. But they could also say, you know what, it's been working. Let's just stick with it. Looking for that 9-6 now.
Ooh.
Going gets some cheeky silly kill there, and JW feels very confident to peek into the angle, but with Roland on 5 HP, it's a little bit damaging to their economy. Losing 2 players here, and Flush is going to go down now as well. And all of a sudden, I was about to say, if that AWP doesn't get out the hands of Snatchy, the round could be lost. Mihu can still cause problems. We know how good he is. The lack of Kevlar prevents him from really making a clean shot. That'll be 7-6. Economy not good for Fnatic at all, so they're probably going to stick to playing passively. I do want to see them go aggressive somewhere, like Sewers take or a Fountain take. So it's just something to mix it up, but if they have a flow, stay in the flow.
The flow state.
I like the 2-man swing from Fnatic at the end of that round. Instead of splitting up, just chose to, they knew roughly where he was. Swing, get the trade frag, secure the round then. Limit the variance. And still Virtus.pro have to smoke the ramp. That'll slow them down. You never know when Fnatic are going to get weird. Very timely push from Golden. I spoke about the aggression from Fnatic. This appears to be very well timed indeed. Now, they have to assume that somebody is in short B. They've got no information there. What does he choose to do? It is a long rotation to try to flank, and he may just play the off angles.
Beautiful. So we wanted to see a little bit of aggression. Roland gets himself a double. That's beautiful. The second kill, there's no setup to help him out, but he still picks it up. He is eventually punished, but JW is now pushing the limits of his position, seeing if he can just extract a cheeky kill on the side. have to say, I like at the beginning of the rounds how JW wanted to go aggressive Fountain, but one flashbang went off, and then he aborted it. It's really important.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's round-winning information. 30 seconds they're committed. Crimson's in position already. It's not long for this world. 8-6 for Fnatic, as they look pretty confident.
So one way to kind of dismantle that kind of like that stack that you saw on CT in the bathroom area, TL, Team Liquid, will toss FBs in the bathroom area to kind of push back the AWPer, and then you can swing on the rifler. So the lack of flashbangs is really showing that you can't take that setup without a flashbang in that spot in the bathrooms.
They'll stick a Molotov in there sometimes as well. However, the money's not really there for such plays from Virtus.pro in this round. The last round of the first half, we'll see they've got the rifles out. They've prioritized the rifles over the utility. Now, as they start to creep, there's only one flashbang. Can they afford to really put it in this position rather than use it elsewhere? Perhaps not, but look what it's cost them. JW not expecting so many players. He's playing based off the dev cam and what was seen. Oh, the smoke's gone too far. I think he was trying to bounce it off the side of the doorway. So he has been lost. And actually looking for the AWP. There it is. Old friend, the AWP. Snatchy is leveled up now. 3 versus 3 with a minute on the clock. Rather than trying to hold the A site, Flusher will push long instead. I'm a fan of this play. PHR will be swinging. There's a pre-fire from Flusher. His sound is on point. And now that's an issue for Virtus.pro. Is Flusher going to go back towards that side where they can hear him? Oh, he's faked it. Is he going to walk all the way around to a flank again? So he's shown presence towards long, so they can't really take the site because he could peek at any time, but he is flanking at the same time as well. It's a great nuance from Flusher, and he can leave his teammates to focus on things, but maybe Snatchy's made the master stroke as he's rotated towards B, but surely Snacks is about to get taken out for free. So he seems to be aware of the potential play from Flusher, but Flusher has outmaneuvered him. He's got the sound cues though. There's so much going on in these few seconds.
And Flusher's kind of baiting for it as well. He knows that Snacks is there. The mind games between Snacks and Flusher here. And Flusher, one of the smartest people in all of Counter-Strike, and proving to you exactly why. His read of the situation is fantastic. There's a lot of stuff that Flusher did we can go over in a moment. Snatchy here looking to try to hold this down. The stick is coming. Snatchy, though, he's got to take down the diffuser, but he can't make it in time. 9-6 at the end of the first half. Fnatic looking rock solid as soon as they stabilized. And we will find out if they can continue that form after the break.
Up your game. 128-tick service for the smoothest, most responsive gaming experience ever. Ensure you game seamlessly with our state-of-the-art FACEIT anti-cheat. Track your progress with advanced stats within your community, country, or region. This is the true ranked experience. Sign up now at FACEIT.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
I think that exchange between Flusher on the A side and Snacks going down into Connector is an example of why Counter-Strike is better than everything else.
Also, there was a lot of other stuff with the way that he like pushed long, and there's a lot to talk about all the pros of his play there, but we don't have time because it's the pistol. Well, maybe you do have time because Fnatic are just holding for pushes at the beginning of the round towards Fountain really slow, using that time that they have. Look, all the nades on Flusher and Golden. They even get decoys. Love to see it. I wonder if they'll incorporate the decoys or if they're just there because they, you know,
Fake flashbangs. It's an easy win of decoys. It's the only grenade though that I don't have a button for if to buy in spawn. Snatchy's going to run out of bullets soon, and just as he starts to get low, he is double peaked at the very least. Brolan opening, starting the proceedings. And Crimson picks up a USP. Outside of that, we don't have any P250s. So you see the silencer taken off the USP there. That makes it less accurate.
Does it actually make it less accurate?
Yeah.
How much?
I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but
minimal?
It makes it less accurate. Why do it to yourself?
It sounds good. It's all about feeling. Feel part of the game. Veggie hasn't got enough strength to hold down the bomb side by himself. Flusher comes through. And that is amazing for Fnatic. Talking about emotions.
He's got no silencer on. He could have, I mean, I think he was peaked there, but what if he wasn't and he popped the first guy? They wouldn't know where he was before he popped the second guy if he had a silencer on.
Why even having Josh is going to be that much worse? Like
Why you do
burst
this?
fire. Why even having the game now? It's just so bad. Is why.
One of the things about it, which is actually negative, is that we as human beings we use sound cues a lot. It's a really big deal, and it's how we understand rhythm and tempo in terms of obviously in this instance like firing. So if you've got loads of practice with the feel of firing a USP with the silencer, suddenly taking it off actually is gonna probably detract from your performance a little bit.
But that's like the mentality of I'm going to die, take my weapon kind of thing, if you're thinking that way. I tried it once actually the other day with you guys. I unsilenced my USB. It was terrible.
I saw that, yeah.
It was terrible.
I had to kill everyone for you.
Yeah, you did.
Fnatic trying to bait, trying to find out where a stack is. You can see Flusher inviting a response with his footsteps. He's really using the footsteps in this game, and he has had no response. Now, there will be a rotation, but to where? Well, maybe not a rotation, but to retreat. Okay, a silent rotation towards the B bomb site from A. And Flusher's gone pretty deep, but his teammates are still clearing up. The bomb is starting to rotate towards B as Flusher's found himself a strong position. JW and Brolan have smoke grenade, so these choke points can be dealt with. And with no sound towards B, VP go back up to 8 the A bomb site. Once they realize it's B, do they really want to try and pick up weapons? They must know, well, actually, they might not know that the SMGs are on deck. Now they're going to be giving a lot of money to their opponent, although Flusher did get a headshot, but the kill bonus will make life harder. Now maybe Virtus.pro can make some money with the kill bonus from the Mac 10. Chasing Golden down. 17 HP. Does anyone have an angle to save him? Virtus.pro know that they might fall. There we go. Mac 10 money. Snatchy gets himself an AK. And there's only 2 players left, so this is proving expensive, but as long as they win around, that's the important thing. JW, with his knife out, is expecting Snatchy to have to retreat, but I was wondering if Snatchy would be safe here. I'm not 100%. Seems like he will. But JW will finish him off and make sure he's super dead.
I love that he waits until the bomb damage comes in so that he can guarantee himself the kill. That's actually really smart. I wonder how many people would be thinking like that. Wait until he takes the damage from the bomb. Triple AUG, that's amazing. We never see the AUG. Its the usage statistics are about 10% versus the M4, just slightly above. Given that's statistics from the last big tournament, which is Star Series, which is a very long tournament. So 4 creeks, AUGs, Crocs.
So last time we saw a VP on Overpass, they had a pretty decent T side, but their CT side was the problem. Too many info pushes at the wrong time. We see VP in their strength when they're playing as a team, a little more passive on the CT side, mixing in the aggressiveness. You know, don't play at default really, because the teams will punish you too much for that.
That is quite the pixel angle from PHR. He's trying to catch people off guard, looking into Divider. Didn't take the initial shot. There's a free one for him. That's a sneaky angle. Snatchy closer to the toilets will be punished. Fnatic are moving into position for a split of the A bomb sites, it seems. There's no presence towards B. No info for VP either, with nobody venturing towards that short B position. JW's turn to find a pixel angle. That scope will be heard by PHR though, so they know not to peek. Footsteps. Do they recognize it was a boost now? That would mean 2 of the 4 players are towards the A bomb site, so surely you would favor it with 3 people. A swing from PHI sees a lot of the information, but he can't sweep it all up. 2v2.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage on the trace from Fnatic, but there is going to be a fight for this one, the 2v2, as you say. A couple flashbangs and a smoke for Virtus.pro, so that smoke can go down on the bomb if they're able to find their way towards the bomb site. And Fnatic may allow them to do that just because they don't want to risk the integrity of their numbers. They can have the 2 players surviving whilst this defuse attempt comes in. That's going to be a stronger defense for Fnatic. So they allow Virtus.pro to put the bomb, or smoke the bomb. Now Flusher has to make things work. There's no kit though, so Flusher has time to work with. Oh, he goes for the diffuser. Can't get him in time though. It's a good effort from Fnatic. They do a decent amount of damage, and they get a bomb plant. So do they decide to force it up here? They could afford an AWP, a Krieg or 2. And JW could drop 2 Kriegs, actually.
Drop 2 Kriegs, take a deagle.
And then, you know, Crims could buy an AK. They could actually have 4 rifles potentially.
Well, 2 AKs, he could probably have Kevlar. Okay, so he has not done that. They're going to have the hero Krieg on Brolan, which is also fine. JW wants that AWP money. I respect that. People ask me for a deagle, I'll say no. If I don't have any AWP, I'm eco for AWP.
What if I
Those are my 2 statuses in Counter-Strike.
What if I ask you really nicely for a deagle?
I might give you a deagle.
If you feel merciful.
You have some random outbursts of where you just turret everybody, so Dan is deserving of a deagle.
I like this deagle skin a lot, the hypnotic. Really
Honey
grown on me.
Badger.
It's really grown on me recently.
It's great.
May have to get one.
Well, Brolan is looking to peek. He's got some sound cues. He knows where the peeking is coming from. That was his chance. It's gone. But the swing from Snatchy. Maybe those are some of the wild plays we were talking about. He knows there's a Krieg there, but he swings on it. And they've lost a bomb site. These are the problems that we sometimes see for Virtus.pro. And now Fnatic have position on the bomb site. 3 rifles rather than 1. Brolan will trade eventually. Keep the numbers reasonable. He will be heard by Snacks, who's creeping. Last 2 plays for the Swedes. Both have Kevlar. But Snacks has more information than Brolan does, and that's going to be a problem. Now, where is JW? Stuck in a long position. There's no kit for these Virtus.pro players.
How?
Oh my days. Starting to creep up now. Does he believe that it's not going to be diffused? PHR swinging. We've got the 360s happening from Snacks.
Where's the kits?
Wow. That was so lucky they did not lose that round.
I think Snacks was busy fixing his sends. He couldn't go and retrieve one of the rifles on the site. Well, the bottom 3 didn't.
He smashed that one. I don't know. That's so weird that you have like 6K in the bank, no kit.
That DPI switch, man.
There you go. Call a timeout because you the lack of kits. I'm sure the coach noticed. What are you guys doing?
What do we think about how that started? Snatchy jump peaks. He's shot at by Krieg in toilets and swings alone on toilets.
I'm
like
just,
in the middle of the A site.
I'm just curious because he got shot at, and usually there's going to be multiple people most likely in the area. You know, not just one person. So him just jumping out wide, I don't know, just all by himself is one of the problems that we see from VP sometimes is that over peaking without the teamwork there. You just can't have that.
Yeah, I can't think of what the objective was there.
He needs to be more like James as far as his AWPing goes. That's the thing, like, every AWPer probably needs to be a little bit more like James.
Well, he wasn't AWPing at the time.
No, I know, but he does that with the AWP as well. Like, he gets really overconfident, and that's like why James is so sick to me, because his confidence isn't tied to I have to be super aggressive and get loads of kills. He's just confident all the time, and he just plays the smart decisions all the time. And sometimes the smart decision is to go absolutely ham, but it's not always to do that. And I think Snatchy's more of a I'm going to go ham kind of AWPer. And there's a few top tier AWPers that have that problem. Where they're overly confidence based, which is fine, but it has its drawbacks. Some of those players have extremely high peaks and skill. And Crimson's going to take down Snatchy here, looking for information. Also, Fnatic, they've been doing a lot of damage reliably every round, no matter what they have. It's a war of attrition, and eventually, Virtus.pro, they need to start winning. They need to clean rounds.
Yeah. Again, if you're spraying and you're close to a smoke, you're not very far away from your traces. So it's a lot easier for the person who's further away from the smoke to spray you down. So that is really something to consider when you're making plays like that. Virtus.pro would like to know your location.
Look at this flank from Snacks with the MP9. You're going to see how good the MP9 is now, James. He's going to kill everyone with this gun.
I'd be surprised if he got 2 kills. There you go.
Well, Roland with the heads up 1v1. When it's Snacks gets the information though, but they don't have position in time to retake the bomb site. Fnatic, Virtus.pro and Fnatic are going to be pretty stable in these positions. JW with a nice little angle above the smoke, above the bomb. And there it is. Eventually, you know, slowly but surely, Fnatic just whittling away the money round after round. They finally win a round. And VP don't have much left in the bank to really support this. It's going to be on a... I wonder if they'll try to force up around this Krieg.
I wonder if Virtus.pro like review the opening kills. It would be cool if you had like an analyst who would say, look at the opening kills that a team got against your team and the fashion in which they get them, to see if there are any like negative habits.
Any leaks?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love poker terminology. They have like a lot of really good terminology, which I think is, you know, applicable. Like leaks. I think that is a really good point though, because sometimes, you know, you can make maybe what is actually 5 really good plays, but it just doesn't go correctly in terms of the outcome. But doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing those in the future. Good to know what those are.
Well, again, just like Virtus.pro had big pressure on the B bomb site in the first half, Fnatic will do the same in the second. And Stacks doesn't really have the position. He's very alone on the B bomb site. Virtus.pro made a big investment towards A, and the round is over. That's it. It's over. And sometimes it'd be that way. Sometimes it'd be like that.
And this is because also, you know, Fnatic have really conditioned VP. If VP want to take a gamble round, because here they did actually force up around the Krieg. If they take a gamble round and they want to stack something, they're going to stack towards A, because Fnatic have been playing these slow defaults where they open up A every round. And that's just Fnatic reading the economy of VP really well, knowing that either they save here or they force it, and you know, regardless, they're going to have the same reaction in terms of where they want to put their players. They're going to have to stack their players somewhere or go aggressive somewhere. Let's just run at B. And that way, even if they stack B, you eliminate a lot of the moving parts.
13 for Fnatic. Starting to warm up in this second half. Starting to win most of these rounds now. It's not been easy. The bomb's been planted almost every single round. That's not a good indicator for Virtus.pro.
Do they run B again though? Because they know that VP have this exactly this. They know that they saved what they have and that they bought stuff, so that they need a full save again with that stuff. So they're going to go for a default, faster default, The 2-2-1. Look how fast at 130 they got Sewers, they got Monster, they got Connector. Now they just need maybe some bathroom control. Golden and Brian had just been sitting in party for quite some time, perhaps expecting VP for going for a long push. Flush is so ready for this. I like the way he peeks that position.
Not the first time he's had a little adventure towards Monster. Did it with a Mac 10 in a previous run where he just made some footsteps looking for a response. He was the investigation man. He was seen in, he fell out, got a kill, and walks in once again. Mihu, oh man, look at that dot. In the meantime, Flusher pushes into the B bomb site. Doesn't work out for him on this occasion. PHR's got the scout on CT spawn A area. He's flashed off and will be forced from his position. Now JW will hear the sound cues of the rotation. It's mainly been Flusher with the show towards the B bomb site. JW takes his place, but the headshots are coming in everywhere. That's the position on the stairs I was talking about. There's a common position if you're trying to stop rotation or play as defensively as possible. So you can see he's ready for it. Golden.
Yeah, some good pre-fire. And you know, like making shots like that, you know, obviously it's a pre-fire, but to also like react to that correctly, you have to always be visualizing that you know you can like you see the opponent there in your mind's eye, like a ghost-like image. You have an expectation. Yeah, and that should be kind of how you're always playing. You should have the focus that always that's what's happening. That you're kind of seeing the players, even if they're not there yet. Kind of primes your reactions to get much faster shots off. And the battle for Connector this time is going to go to Virtus.pro, which is interesting.
Fnatic have stronger win percentages on all the maps in this series. 67% to 60 on Mirage, 80% to 25 on Overpass. So things are looking promising for them at the moment, but there's still a chance for Virtus.pro to turn things around. The bomb is making its way through the playground at present, with Fnatic racing to take map control on the site itself. The bomb must follow on long so as not to get caught off through Connector. There's a nice smoke up. So meaty HE as well. PHR trying to run distraction, but both those choke points are swiftly dealt with. That's a very strong smoke on Bank, and that leaves Virtus.pro helpless for a time. Now, 2 versus 3. They're practically at the bomb site already, VP. I wondered if they felt compelled to go for it as they're facing game points. But the choke point game is way too strong, and it seems they'll be forced to fall back.
Fnatic's doing a pretty good job on mixing up their T side. We saw it a little bit at the start of the T side. They were more together, kind of exchanging kills, and now they're turning on the lurk and spreading out when VP is kind of playing passive and condensed. So Fnatic getting a lot of free map control with very little resistance from VP, because now they're playing passive. So good calling on Fnatic to be able to mix that up.
I love watching Flusher be a nuisance to people, just causing problems. The way that he peeks stuff, the timings he uses and so on, it's really educational.
I've played with him a few times.
You guys remember Goodfella from the old SK 1.6? Old school player? He loves Flusher. He's Swedish. He tells me how smart he is and how good of a player he is.
He's insanely good. Goes to get down quickly, but it doesn't matter. Ooh, that's a nice nade, but he will lose the duel. Now, are they to see position quickly? Well, looks like maybe they will, because they've lost all presence around the B-bomb site. Oh my god, that's not easy to hit all those bullets in such a constrained and awkward angle. And it looks like it might be over here for VP. I don't know what they're going to be able to do. Snatchy with the scout, Mihu with the M4. Of course, both great players, but the positioning is so strong for Fnatic.
Jump peaks, no respect style from Fnatic. And they will be dealt with Virtus.pro. 16-8 as we close out Overpass. You pick off Fnatic. Brian heading towards the 30 bomb. Everybody turning up. We saw some Great plays, particularly from Flusher as well. The dance with snacks on from long to connector was a particular favourite of mine. And I guess it went as it should. Fnatic continue their strong percentages on Overpass.
Ban Overpass against Fnatic. They are really good at this map. Just to see how they're kind of moving around, working the map. And it looks so nice. And it doesn't look like it's meant for VP though. Fnatic makes it seem that way.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things where I think that clip, or that thing that we highlighted with Flusher, where he's playing that long position, pushing out of the site, like it shows that there was like this series of like 5 or 6 decisions that's made, where and this is the kind of thing where Fnatic do really well. You've got all these mid-round spots where there's some space for a player to kind of move around the map, and Fnatic is so good with those spots because they've got multiple players that can play it very smart and get loads of edges. And that's just beautiful to watch. And a map like Overpass is perfect for them. It's no wonder their win rate is so good on it.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch. I think there was lots of nuance we saw in various rounds, and it was really engaging and gives some great examples as to how you can do a lot with a little, just a few steps. And that's the Overpass in the bag for Fnatic, which was their pick. Now they move to Mirage, which is the pick of Virtus.pro, but the numbers are slightly stronger for Fnatic. We'll see if VP can topple those numbers after the break. We'll see you back here shortly.